So this is basically going to be a unedited, start to finish setup video of when I get a guitar. So this one is, I get them from my auctions or whatever, and then I do a full setup on them. So good shape, bad shape, I kind of do the same thing. This one is a first act, which is obviously an entry-level beginner guitar. It's full-size dread, which is kind of cool. Does have a truss rod, which is awesome. Blah blah blah. So here we go. First thing I do is drop all the strings. Okay, once they're down to tension, I'm going to be ditching, so taking out the pins. I don't care if I make a mark on the pins because these are going in the garbage. Pins in the garbage. See if I can get the strings out. Get the strings out. Hopefully nobody tied knots. It looks like whoever did this knew what they were doing. At least, yes, no knots. Perfect. Alright, strings are off. Garbage. 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 What else? Alright, we are going to be taking out the plastic saddle. You know it's plastic. I knew it was, but when you look at them, you can see little holes in the bottom, and it's plastic. Same thing with the nut. Now, sometimes the nut, you got to be a little careful here because they may have been glued in, and sometimes they might be attached to the fretboard, or you don't want to basically pull or damage anything while you're pulling this out. So kind of pay attention. Sometimes they come real easy. I get a good grip. Yep, that was easy. So same thing, you can see there's little holes on it. It's plastic. And the grooves are really deep. Garbage! Alright. Now what I do on all the guitars is I just give them a little bath. This is a generic cleaner. It's not guitar specific. It's actually Method Anti-Bac. It's what I have. It's got some detergent in it, so that's fine. Because these are usually very dirty. Alright. And as I'm doing this, I am looking at it to see if there's any areas. This is in really good shape. To see if there was any areas that need a little touch up or anything like that. If anything needed a touch up, I'm just going to use wood markers. But this guitar is in really nice shape. And as I'm doing it, I'm also feeling here for any kind of pokey frets, and this feels good. So again, that's going to be quick. It's not going to need any real fret work per se. Alright, so give her a nice bath. Now, here's something I do on all the guitars. If you take a good look at the frets, they're a little dirty. They've been hanging out, So there's a fretboard, there's the frets. I use a cloth. It's called Gorgamite, and it's a polishing cloth for fretboards and frets. and I literally go do the whole thing, and you're gonna watch me and hang out do it. And you know it works because when you look at it, that wasn't there before I started. Again, you can see it working itself. I just keep going down. I do the middle, which is the fretboard, and I work my way onto the fret, giving pressure all the way around it. You can have your own ways of doing it. I switch fingers. I sometimes go to the 2-finger method. Making sure I get the fret surface and the fretboard surface. I use a pretty good pressure and a fast motion to build up heat, and that assists with this, and it really, really does a good job. So yeah, you can see that was clean. Now it's not. All right, so next thing I do is good old English lemon oil. I basically just keep a rag that's pretty sopped with it. I'm going to go ahead and apply that liberally to the fretboard, and then also the wood on the bridge. Now that's a lot. It's wet, so basically I'm going to rub. I try not to get it on the spruce top and all that, or the gloss. But it's not like it's acid, it's not the end of the world. So I give it a good rub in. Same thing on the frets. And you can see it's just thirsty. It's been drinking. It's drinking it up. Alright, now that we've done that, and you look, you can see the shine on the frets. Obviously the wood looks nice and oiled and healthy, and it also smells good. Now we get to the fun stuff. All right, so first thing I've noticed while I was here, so we took that saddle out, and so I've had people mention and talk about, oh, would putting a shim under the saddle deaden sound? Well, I guess maybe, but oh, this is from the factory. Huh, 2 pieces of shim. Now why would they do that? Why would they need that? You would only shim if it was too low, but they did. So it's just sometimes really strange. So yeah, you're getting a vibration and everything. If there was a piezo pickup in there, it would matter more, but theoretically, yeah, not using shims would be best, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to save those just in case we need them, because they come in handy. So here's oops. So here's my little fun box. So in the fun box, what do we got? Okay, so we got some pins. These are Cocobolo. Then I have some rosewood. I actually have some ebony. So, just taking a peek at this guitar. It's got the black, it's got, first off, sometimes these holes, yeah, I'm going to drill these out too. What looks better? Coca-Cola. You know, so you could look at those three and say, that's my choices. I actually like the Coca-Cola on this guitar, even though it's got the black. I'm gonna do the one. I'm gonna use those. Now, if you notice, they really don't go down enough because a lot of these guitars they're not opened enough. So. Picking out a nut, they're all the same. I'm just grabbing one. So we got our nut and saddle. These are bone and they're not shaved at all. It's a pack of Coca-Cola pins. Oh my God. So we've got to get this a little bigger. I already know this is the right size. I'm going to give it a little twist route. I am going through the top of the guitar. I can tell I'm doing that. I don't want to go all the way through to the bottom, but I couldn't. It's not long enough, but I do want to go through and open it up a bit. Now the beauty of that if I can open the package, I'll be okay. You see, I gotta open that hole, these holes up more. Now they go nice, not too loose, but they go in, and yes, that would be perfect. So first thing I'm going to do is just pop the saddle in to see if the width is okay. Wow, I think I know why they shimmed it. So the width of this is perfect. Now normally when you put in when I put in one of these that haven't been shaved down at all, normally it sits up super high. This one gets buried in there. So that's probably why they, can you see that? That's probably why they shimmed it. It's because the groove they cut inside this bridge is really low to begin with. But that might work out because this might be perfect as it is. Cool. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this camera. Bear with me. So if we're looking here, this basically sits in there. So the first thing is it's already got a bit of a groove, so the width this way I want to see if it does sit flat and go in. Now this actually fits perfectly. Now I'm not into rocket science, so I eyeball this. So right away by eyeballing this, I can see that I don't even think this is too high. This guitar just might be set up in a way where I'm going to throw strings on it right now and see how it is. So and then adjust accordingly. I'm going to put this back up here, and there we are. All right, so let's grab some strings. So I use 11s. That's not what I use on my own guitar, but 11s are always good, kind of in the middle of the road for people. I've been running around finding different brands with good deals, but currently the most killer deal I found, Donner has 10 packs of strings for 30 bucks. So I'm getting 11 phosphor bronze, 10 packs for $30 off Amazon. So far so good. I've put these on a few guitars, and yeah, they're decent. I don't think they're as good quite maybe as the Dario. What I don't like is the way the Donner packages them. They put these stupid little tabs on them, and kind of a pain in the butt sometimes to unwind. But other than that, I'm not complaining, because at $3 a pack, that's pretty good. So there we go. I'll just get to this. Everybody's got their own method, I suppose, but I do so many sets of guitars. I know what works. People can talk all day long how they like to tie their knot, or a luthier knot, whatever. I don't know. I just do what works for me. I can't tell you how many hundreds of times upon hundreds of guitars and strings that I've changed, including changing the string while I was playing on stage in the middle of a song. It's really not that hard. My cat is sleeping, because if it wasn't, it would be attacking these strings. So, that's cool. This is my method. I pull all the way through. I give about a couple of lines worth of slack. I give one good crease under, around, hold both down, tighten the string. When I see it's got pressure, I let go, I make sure my pin didn't come up, and immediately I go to the loose end, I leave a 1/4 inch on it, and I cut it. Start with the 6th string always, and I go to the 1st. If you notice, I do not glue the saddle or the nut at all. That should be free floating. Same thing with this spring. I give it about that. Nice crease under, around, and hold both down. Tighten until it comes up, make sure it pins down, go right to this end, about a 1/4 inch, give it a cut. Get it out of the way. Now I alternate and do the same thing for each of these springs. Alright, so we got our strings on. What I'm going to do, so it's probably not going to be good to go right now. That would be surprising. First thing as I pick it up, I just take a peek. Actually, when I bring this up to tune, it might actually not be bad. I'm looking at the distance right here. I'm just eyeballing 12th fret and up here, but these are really loose. That's going to get tightened up, but we'll see. I will throw a tuner on it to get a general idea. I'm just going to bring them all up past right now. Make sure my pins aren't popping, because I have had pins pop and fly across the room. That was just, you see, nothing broke, just settling in. That was the string ball end popping into the pin is what we heard. Every string is high right now, is sharp. So what I want to do first is I want to check the neck relief. Now that we've got strings in tension, I'm going to check this right here to see if we've got proper relief. The way you do that is with a fret straight edge. You want to see the ends of this basically be flat, and in the center you want to have a very small gap. Basically this neck should be a U. That's exaggerated, but the grooves are for the fret to sit through. So if you look here, it's actually got a decent amount of action, maybe almost too much. I might give this truss rod a little turn. And what that does, this is what a truss rod does. As you tighten it, you bring the neck this way. If you kept tightening it, you get the neck like that. So to loosen gives it relief, to tighten takes away. This has a lot of relief, so I want to tighten it a little. The truss rod's right here. And they're commonly the same size, which this one is. So I want to tighten this a little. It doesn't take a whole lot. Small increments, and then test it. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's definitely brought it back a little bit. I'm going to go and do that again. And then we'll be good with that. Yeah, all right, that should be good. We'll put that away. Now, I'm going to give it a tune. That helps stretch the strings, obviously. I'm pulling it pretty hard, giving a few good yanks, and yeah, definitely dropped down a whole half tone, half step. probably could go a little lower up there on the saddle, but she ain't bad. So let me just check this out. So, I mean, on an acoustic, to give yourself really good action at the 12th, you'd be looking at, what, 0.09 or so. This is a tool that gives you your string heights. Yeah, so it's actually sitting right at 0.10, so that's actually really nice. I sometimes might set up my own a little lower, but yeah, that actually was kind of lucky. Didn't have to do anything to the nut to bring it down. Basically, the concept though is if these actions, if it's high down here and if it's high down here, you take this saddle out and you shave a little bit off the bottom of it. And you do it in small amounts, put it back in, and retest. Same thing with this. You take your nut out, you shave down the nut a little bit, put it back in. Do it in millimeter increments, because a little bit goes a long way. Ultimately, someone's going to get this guitar, and it's now. Here's what's funny. This is a first act. It's a beginning guitar. I'm telling you that this guitar right now, right here, sounds, feels, and plays better than some Yamahas, Fenders, and Ibanez that I've gotten in here. Do not judge a book by its cover. Name brands mean nothing. See you guys. Have a great day.